Welcome back. Earlier this year, after a brief run in Rep 2 years ago, Off-Broadway's Bedlam Theater Company debuted an encore engagement of their new adaptation of Jane Austen's Sense and Sensibility. Our Frank DeLella recently got the chance to chat about this unique staging of the Austen classic with Kate Hamill, who adapted the work and also plays Marianne Dashwood, and actress Kelly Curran, who plays her sister Eleanor.
Kate, Kelly, the stars and playwright, or the person who adapted Sense and Sensibility for the stage. Welcome to On Stage, and congratulations on this great production.
Thank you.
It's so great. I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Thank you
Before we
so
get to
much.
the show itself, Bedlam Theater Company is kind of like this hot new theater company here in New York, and has also kind of made its way all up and down the East Coast.
Yeah.
What's the mission of Bedlam? What would you say the mission is?
I mean, I'm paraphrasing from the mission statement, or approximating it, but I think they really believe in theatricality and embracing theatricality and sort of dissolving the wall between the audience and the performers of the piece, so there's not such a formality in between, and bringing like immediacy and fervency.
So I mentioned you're starring in the show. You play the role of Marianne. Kelly, you play the role of Eleanor.
Yeah.
But Kate, you also adapted Austen's text for the stage. And you said in an interview with Backstage not that long ago, I'd been an actor for many years and was frustrated because oftentimes when you're a woman, you're competing with 400 other actresses to play someone's wife, girlfriend, or prostitute. And out of frustration, you, kind of out of a bet, went to go create this version of Sense and Sensibility.
Yes.
And now look what you have. I mean, how do you feel?
You know, I really try to keep it in perspective by just saying, like, I do think people are hungry for women's stories. I think women's stories are universal, and I think, like, even if you look at the numbers, 68% of the ticket buying audience is female, and 3/4 of new plays and adaptations last year were by men. And there are lots of amazing plays and adaptations by men, of course, but that means often that's from a male viewpoint, and often they're very male-heavy stories. And I think the endurance or the success of this particular adaptation is not only people love Jane Austen, and of course, I think, of course, so much is owed to Bedlam's production of it, which is so beautiful and engaging, and Eric Tucker has done such a wonderful job with it. But I also think, like, people are hungry for women's stories.
I have to point out, Kelly, you are becoming somewhat of a staple in the off-Broadway scene, having just got a nomination for a Drama League Award for your work at the Pearl with the Ding Dong, but also you've been at the Signature and Red Bull and the New Victory. You know, you were kind of thrown into this. You know, this is a very well-rehearsed machine that you guys pump out every night, and it's so tight. You were thrown into this with very little rehearsal.
Yes, I am actually replacing Andrews Nichols, who's the co-founder of Bedlam, who got another job and was scheduled to leave Sense and Sensibility at the beginning of August, and I had just finished working with Eric Tucker on a couple of other Bedlam productions that were commissioned by a theater in Cambridge, Massachusetts, Central Square Theater. So we were in the middle of working on these productions of Twelfth Night together, and Eric came up to me in rehearsals and he said, Andrews has to leave the show, and I would love for you to come do this. Can you come do this 2 weeks after we closed Twelfth Night in Cambridge? And I was immediately thrilled. I'd seen the production in like late January, I think early February, and I loved it when I saw it. And of course, you know, I have the attachment as a young teenager seeing the Ang Lee film, Sense and Sensibility, and then I think of Emma Thompson and Kate Winslet and all the romance and the novel and her incredible novel, and so you get an opportunity like that, and like there's no way to pass that up. I mean, it's just such an extraordinary character. And so I had about 5 rehearsals total to jump into the part.
She's being very modest, because I think she needed like 2. I'm not exaggerating.
Well, for folks at home, I mean, this is like you all are like putting on different hats and playing. It's so well rehearsed. I mean, there's choreography. I mean, that's crazy. Even just what you do, too. I mean, it's really brilliant. I have to say, leading into my next question, you know, what I love about Bedlam, and it reminds me of what Alex Timbers and Roger Rees did with Peter and the Starcatcher. It reminds me a lot of what Fiasco Theater Company does, even Pigpen. It's, you know, theater at its core, and you guys use, you know, very little set, basic props, and yet you make magic. You make magic in that theater. You know, can we reflect on that? Can we talk about that?
I think that's, again, I think that goes back to their mission statement, and I think, you know, Eric Tucker is, in addition to being the director of this piece, is the director of Bedlam, and Eric is really, and Kelly I'm sure can attest to this too, like interested in the creative solution, the imaginative solution, the solution that depends on the intelligence of the audience and doesn't pander to them. And I think that really leads to magical work when he has so much trust, not only in his team, but also in the audience, that they'll invest in it emotionally and intellectually.
Absolutely. We're almost out of time, but I have two quick questions for you. One, Kate, you're going to start. Dream classic that you'd like to adapt for the stage, a la Sensibility, and Kelly, dream classic that you would like to star in on the stage. Go. First thing that comes to mind.
You know, I'm really interested in doing an Odyssey.
Wow.
Very cool. My immediate one is Lady M, is the Scottish play at some point, and getting to play her. So that's the first. It's the darker of the choices that come to mind, but she's up there for sure.
I'll take it. Ladies, congratulations on Sense and Sensibility. Folks can now check it out at the gym at the Judson. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And Sense and Sensibility is running at the gym at Judson on Thompson Street in Greenwich.